What up, everybody? It's your man RTP Skull Gang in the building, and I am your host of the Computer on Red podcast. We are back trying to get things going again. It's been a while. It's been a while, but it's time. Tomorrow is pads. Training camp with pads. Big day. I wanted to just talk a few things. I got a video that I wanted to watch, which is the most recent in the current video that we can talk about. Listen, I'm not gonna hold you guys. I gotta be honest with you. When it comes to the streaming stuff, I got a lot of things in my life right now that things are a bit different. I'm trying to work out a lot more, so I wake up extra early for my job, and I go to the gym and I start working out. And then when I come home, I really be tired. So unless there's something really important that we have to talk about, then I'll probably come on here. But for the little things, I'm not gonna try to come on here and be your number one Buck guy. It just is what it is, man. You know, I come on here for the important things that we got to talk about, and there are things that we got to talk about. We've had one, two, three. This is four. Today's day four. Tomorrow's gonna be day 5 of training camp, and there's a lot, man. There's a lot that I'm psyched about. There's a lot that I'm worried about, and I mean, let's just talk about it. I mean, first, let's go ahead and start with in the current, and we'll go from there, man. We'll go from there.
We made USAA for homeowners who like being ready. That's why we have safety tips for things like
Shut up. Skip, skip, skip. All right, so
all the decisions that we make affect the team
This
in
is
one
in
way
the
or another,
current.
negatively
Again,
or positively.
we're going to talk about a few things.
Every draft pick that we make, every player that we acquire can have a big effect on the outcome of a game, of a season. Great players always are the number one reason for the success of a team.
So this is huge, man.
The scouts
This is huge.
are
You're talking
sometimes
about
the
the
forgotten ones,
scouts.
underappreciated, under the radar. They are the ones helping me more than anybody else.
All right.
So if you haven't seen
Welcome back.
if you haven't seen this in the current, man, I advise you to watch it. And here's the thing that I want to talk about when it comes to the Bucks, right? Here's the thing that I really want to talk about. We're building something special here, man. We're building something special here. And when I say building, I mean literally building, right? I thought of this the other day. There's only two positions that is not our guys. And it might be one position. We drafted every position on this team. Think about it. Free safety, Antoine Winfield, we drafted. Strong safety, Jordan Whitehead, we drafted. Anybody that comes behind him is an undrafted free agent that we picked up. Jamel Dean, we drafted. McCollum, we drafted. Tyreek, we drafted. Or if it's Izian, that was undrafted, right? You got Vita Vea, we drafted. Kalijah Cansey, we drafted. Logan Hall, we drafted. Then you got outside linebacker Yaya Diaby. Troy, I can't think. JTS. Joe Tryon. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. Joe Tryon, we drafted. Chris Braswell, behind him, we drafted. Anthony Nelson, behind that, we drafted. Right? You still got Jose Ramirez. Watson, who we didn't draft, but, you know, that's another undrafted. I believe he's another undrafted. That's the whole defense. The whole defense, we drafted our whole defense. How many people can say that? And not only did we draft our whole defense, we are looking scary. Now, we don't know if we are scary. We don't know if we are scary because they still got to take that step where we say solidified. It is solidified. I truly believe McCollum is going to take that step this year and be solidified as a starting corner. Not just a starting corner, a lockdown corner. People keep saying, oh, can a McCollum handle CB2? Can McCollum handle being CB2, CB2? Buck fans are saying this. McCollum is CB1. I don't know if you guys understand that. McCollum is not CB2. McCollum is CB1. He's taking over for Carlton Davis. And I'm not saying he's CB1 because Carlton Davis left, so he's automatically CB1. No, because people are assuming that, okay, Jamel Dean's going to go where Carlton Davis is at, and McCollum is going to go where Jamel Dean is at, and he's going to be the number 2, and Jamel's now going to be the number 1. That's not happening. McCollum is number 1. He's going to be the number 1 if he's not already the number 1 CB. He is going to be our shutdown corner. Now, he has to prove it, but again, I truly believe, I'll put money on it. I truly believe McCollum is going to be that guy at the number 1 corner. Yaya Diaby, another guy that has to solidify it, right? We believe he's going to take that step. We've seen a lot of big things from him. We believe he's going to take that next step. He needs to solidify it. I have good feeling he's going to solidify it as well. Kalijah Cansey, a lot of bright spots with that, man. We believe he's going to solidify it, right? Vita Vea already solidified it, right? Logan Hall, people are sleeping on Logan Hall. Logan Hall is actually doing his job. I believe Logan Hall is doing his job way better than Joe Tryon is doing his job. And yes, everyone knows now because Bose keeps harping on it, how he's like our Joker. He can do more things than any of our other outside linebackers can do. But the number one thing that I need from Joe Tryon is sacks. I don't care about nothing else. I'm glad that we can use him for other things. But when you're outside linebacker, I need sacks. That is your number one job that you need to be good at. And Logan Hall is way better. People sleep on him and they think, oh, because he don't have the sack numbers. He's not meant to have sack numbers. He's meant to do what William Golston did for us. William Golston never had sack numbers. Even when he was the best he's ever been, as soon as Todd Bowles came, he still didn't have the sack numbers. But we knew that William Golston was great in stopping the run. William Golston is getting better and better at stopping the run, and he's bringing in pass rush ability as well. So he is an upgraded William Golston. He's William Golston, but better. So when it comes to Logan Hall is doing better than what most people are doing. And yes, I would like him to solidify himself as well, as far as when we do see him in the run game, we know that he solidifies himself in that run game, and we would like for him to solidify himself a little bit more in the pass rush as well. But he's taking those steps more than I believe Joe Tryon is. Now, we still need that other outside linebacker position. Hopefully, we can get that happening, right? So we'll see if we get that happening. But then you go to the offense. Everybody on defense drafted. Then you get to the offense. Mike Evans drafted. Chris Godwin drafted. McMillan drafted. Palmer drafted. Rachaad White drafted. Bucky drafted. Right? Tristan Wirfs drafted. Luke Gedeke drafted. Hainsey drafted. Graham drafted. Cody Mock drafted. The only one is Baker and left guard. That is crazy. We have two positions that we did not draft or have undrafted. I don't know how many other teams is like.
Everybody knows the coaches.
Again, listen to what I just said for the defense and how we feel like we know Antoine's a stud. We like Jordan Whitehead. We feel like I have a good feeling about Tyreek. He hasn't shown me anything yet, but just seeing him as an athlete and seeing his college tape, I really believe that that Todd Bowles can do something with him. So I'm excited to see what Todd Bowles can do with Tyreek Smith. But I do think McCollum is going to be a star. I think McCollum is going to be that guy. Shout out to Tampa Bay Rays fan in the building. I see him. He's in the building. I do think he's going to be I think McCollum could be a star. I think Yaya could be a star. I think Kalijah could be a star, right? Vita Vea, I think he's going to go back into star status. Yes, it was. Well put. Yes. Then, we got Evans already, star. Godwin, is who he is. I believe McMillan can be just as good as Godwin. Like, Rachaad White, a problem. And I think Bucky could be a problem too. Like, we are really, really good. We are building a really good team, guys. A really good team. I'm super psyched. Now, I keep putting off the things that I'm worried about, right? Matter of fact, is there an instrumental somewhere? There you go. Put that instrument in the background. I've been putting off things that I'm worried about, right? I've been telling you guys, there's some things that make me want to pump my brakes, but for the most part, I'm pretty psyched for the season and I'm excited and I think we got some good things. Now, let's go ahead. We're here. Let's talk about it. We got pads on. We got practice tomorrow with the pads on, the first pad practices. So that's great. But let's get into it. This is what I'm worried about when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? I'm worried about two things. I'm worried about the offense and I'm worried about Baker. And the only reason why I'm worried about the offense is because of Baker, right? So this offense that we're running, this is what we needed. This is what we needed, right? I said last year, Dave Canellis was going to give Todd Bowles one of those stones where he's like, yes, I got the stone. I got the Infinity Stones to all of the defenses that are running in the NFL. Now I can be Thanos. That stone wasn't what I thought, right? Or let's just say it like this. when I first saw the glove, the gauntlet glove, and I was like, oh, they got a stone here, stone there, stone there, stone in the thumb. I thought that was it. Then I realized there was also one more infinity stone right there. That's Liam Cohen, right? That's the McVay system. Dave Canellis' system is kind of like the McVay, kind of like Kyle Shanahan, but it's not. It comes straight from Seattle. Seattle kind of has their own spin to it. They kind of have a little bit more they have a little bit more protection. They protect the quarterback a little bit more. They don't really put the quarterback out there to dry. They don't really risk it a lot, right? I have a lot of risky plays. Dave Canellis brought us a lot of safe plays and made it very, very, very easy for Baker, which I think was perfect and exactly what we needed for last year, right? Now this year, we really got a Sean McVay play designs. We really got Sean McVay schemes. We really got the Kyle Shanahan type of offense. We got the real offense that I thought we were going to get with Dave Canellis. Dave Canellis was a little bit of it, but he then kind of showed that it wasn't really what we thought. Now, I don't know if that's because Baker couldn't do it, so he stayed away from that and kind of just stayed with the easy plays. Because it seemed like in preseason, it looked like Sean McVay type of plays for Baker, not for Trask, but for Baker. And then when we got into the regular season, it looked like we tried it a couple times and then we just stopped and we kind of stayed with the other type of plays, the in shotgun and just, stay in shotgun and run those type of schemes. So yeah, now I think we're going to really run some McVay plays. Now, if we look like last year, that's got to be because of Baker. If we are out there and we're running these very simple plays again, these plays that don't look like McVay plays, that kind of look like, what Dave Canellis was calling, that's because of Baker. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. That is why I'm a little bit nervous, right? This is why I'm a little bit nervous about this year. I feel we've already been told that this offensive playbook is a lot harder. There's a lot more motioning. There's a lot more moving parts, so it makes it harder for the quarterback. So there's a part of me that's hoping that it's not too hard for Baker. That is one. That is the first thing that makes me worried. That is the first thing that makes me feel like there is a chance that this season can go bad because we're trying to run this offense and Baker it might be too much for Baker. Tampa Bay says, what is your take on the Wirfs situation with his contract extension? I'm not worried about it. They are miles apart. I haven't heard that they're miles apart. I just don't think they're close yet, but I'm not worried about it. Jason Light doesn't want Wirfs to go nowhere. Don't forget, new O-line coach the Bucs they hired is different in terms of blocking schemes and Gilbert's style. Well, I do believe that's going to give us a chance to run the ball better. I have such a good feeling that we're going to be able to run the ball this year. I hope I'm not wrong. So I'm worried that Baker struggling with this offense is going to hold the season back. It's really the only thing that I see holding the season back. Yeah, there's other things like players that we thought were going to step up or don't step up, or injuries, heavy injuries that could hurt our seasons. But I think the percentage of those things happening are very unlikely. Not the injury part. Obviously, injuries can happen. Freak injuries can happen. But the part of the players that we believe are going to step up, I believe that they're going to step up. I have a strong feeling that they're going to step up. Now, they might not. There might be a bigger percentage of chance that they don't step up the way we want them to step up. But I'm pretty sure all of the people that we want to step up are going to step up enough for us to win games and do what we got to do. And I'm just nervous that Baker might struggle in this offense, that it'll cost us games and cost us the division. The second part that I am nervous about when it comes to this team is pretty much, once again, the offense, and it's Baker Mayfield. Now, whether it's because he's can't understand the offense, or the offense might be too difficult for him, or because this is what Baker wants to do, what I am worried about is Baker once again leaning and what's the word I'm looking for? Relying on Mike Evans 24/7. I am worried about that. Okay? I am worried about that. Now, that's what happened last year. I'm on record. I've said it many times. I believe Baker Mayfield only had the season he had because he relied on Mike Evans. And I believe any quarterback could come in here and just throw to Mike Evans. This is why Chris Godwin didn't have the year he should have had. This is why Trey Palmer didn't have the year that he should have had, because he just relied on Mike Evans. I don't know if it was a chemistry issue or what, but obviously he was struggling to throw the ball to Chris Godwin. Yes, he was able to throw the ball, and yes, I get it. Everybody can do something a couple times, right? But if you can naturally do it all the time, it's better. And I think Chris Godwin should have had a better year. Our offense in general should have had a better year than what it had. It was enough to win the division, but that's what happens when you sit there and you focus on Mike Evans. You can do that. Amber Lowe in the building. Wow. It has been such a long time. New season, hopefully a more productive season. I agree. So, like I said, whether it's because Baker is struggling with the offense and he's not kind of getting it because it's a harder offense, and he just ends up looking at Mike Evans all the time once again so Mike Evans can bail him out, or maybe he understands the offense, but again, he just goes to Mike Evans because he trusts him, and he's just like, it's hard for me to make my reads, and I know if I stay on Mike Evans 80% of the time, he's going to be open. So if I just keep going to Mike Evans 80% of the time, I'll look right? That's what I'm worried about. Now, we had the first training camp where Baker looked pretty good. I believe Kyle Trask didn't look too sharp, and Wolf looked whatever. That first training camp day, first two passes, Mike Evans. I said, oh. Well, this is the beginning, right? This is the beginning of training camp. But it's just really Mike Evans and Mike Evans. Okay. And then the rest of the training camp went how it went. It is what it is. Now, I come to realize that this is not just a Baker thing right now, because then there'll be times where it was Chris Godwin and Chris Godwin, or Trey Palmer and then another throw to Trey Palmer, or McMillan and then another throw to McMillan. There's a lot of plays where a wide receiver will get the ball multiple times. And I've come to realize, like, the light came on, because of this system. This is why Cooper Kupp had the year he had, right? And then Cooper Kupp gets hurt, and Puka Noah, or however you say his name, ends up having a year like Cooper Kupp did, and he breaks records and stuff. In this system, it is designed to get one or two players open. It is designed to get that one or two players wide open, or whoever they are. It is designed to get these guys open. So it's going to seem like Baker is force feeding Mike Evans like last year, because that's all he's looking at, where in reality, that is the play. The play is going to Mike open, Mike Evans open, Mike Evans open, Mike Evans open. Okay, Chris Godwin open, Chris Godwin open, Chris Godwin open. That's how these plays are going to be. Now, second day happens. Everybody has a pretty decent day, right? I believe that was Thursday. Friday happens, and Kyle Trask caught fire. Kyle Trask caught fire. Baker didn't have a good day. He had kind of a bad day. Finding out that happens to be the day that Mike Evans had a veteran day. Is it coincidence? I don't know. Mike Evans has a veteran day. Baker Mayfield doesn't have Mike Evans to lean on. He doesn't have a good day of practice. Meanwhile, Kyle Trask is on fire, making Sterling Shepard look really good. Touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, hitting everybody. Kyle Trask is doing his thing. Fast forward to today, everybody kind of had an interception. Kyle Trask had an interception. Baker had an interception, but Baker played better today. Kyle Trask was kind of whatever today. Not bad, not good, in the middle. So it was kind of whatever. But the reason why I bring all this up is because, the reason why I bring all this up is because, again, it's something we need to watch. Every time Mike Evans has a veteran day, is Baker going to look bad? Because if that happens, then we're going to fall into the same situation as last year, which is if they can stop Mike Evans, if they double, triple team Mike Evans, that means Baker's not going to have a good day? Like, what does that mean? Who will be the third wide receiver at the end of the season, McMillan or Palmer? It's going to be McMillan. They're both going to get a lot of playing time, but it's going to be McMillan. Right now, McMillan can be used every down, every play call, period. Palmer is more of, he can do everything too, but he got the deep threat down right now. He doesn't so much have everything else down right now. He can still do it, but it's not as polished as McMillan right now. McMillan is an actual threat right now everywhere on the field, all parts of the position, slot and outside. So Palmer still got a little bit of work to do. He's still the fastest guy, and nobody is a bigger deep threat than Palmer, which is why he definitely for schemes and for play calling, he's going to be on the field as almost as much. I believe McMillan will start getting more and more playing time as the season goes on. But yeah, I truly believe McMillan's going to be the number 3 wide receiver. Now, maybe things change once the pads come on. I don't know. We will find out. Amber says depends. Has the look throughout the season. Yeah. So yeah, man. That's just. Let's get into.
Make sure we stack them in the right spot. And move on from there.
We work kind of in the shadows, and I think we would all tell you that we prefer it that way. We are not people that like to be out in front of the cameras or need the spotlight or anything like that. I would do this.
Training camp is tomorrow. We put on the pads, and
this whole league doesn't work.
We're gonna really get some
the
real
better players you have, the better team you're gonna be. It's just
we're gonna really get some real good feel of the O-line and the D-line, because right now the D-line's kind of kicking. Outside linebackers are kind of kicking the tackles' butts now. Tackles are not allowed to hit, can't really hit, so it's kind of hard for them. It's the same thing as the defensive tackles. We're not really hearing nothing from the defensive tackles. Well, that's because they can't really rip and hit, and they can't really hit like that. So it's kind of hard for them to show out. So and also the run game. So tomorrow is going to be a big day. We're going to see, can we look a little better blocking in the run? Our outside linebackers really like that because they're looking really good. Really good. So we'll see, man. Big answers. Let's pray that, we go injury-free tomorrow. Injury-free.
I want the people that start the process for bringing the players into this building to be a little bit more appreciated.
Your draft last year was unbelievable. Set the tone. These guys are going to be unbelievable leaders.
And he's
Yes.
set by Diaby.
Yes.
One of the several rookies who are starting to make an impact on this Tampa Bay defense.
You probably already heard the stories. Some of them, how they kind of were already looking sideways at some of the older guys that weren't doing the right thing, and they already know. If we can do that again.
So, am I tripping, or did he just say that the youngsters were looking sideways at some of the vets that weren't doing things the right way? Sound like that's what he said, right? He said that the people that we drafted last year are leaders, they're vocal leaders, and they hit like which again, I agree. I think last year's draft was a hit, and I think this year's draft is a hit as well. I think we got back-to-back really good drafts, and if that's the case, we are going to be Super Bowl contenders, guys. I know you guys might think that I'm acting crazy or I'm talking outside of my neck. Listen, I am here. I've told you guys before. I told you guys last year. I said last year is a throwaway season. I still think we're good enough to win the division, and maybe a playoff game, maybe win a playoff game. I was right. You know me. You know me. When we got Tom Brady, I said I think we could win a Super Bowl. Not just because of Tom Brady, but because I knew the team we have. I'm not BSing you guys when I'm telling you, if this class hit and this year that we just did hits as well, we are on our way to being Super Bowl contenders again. There's only one thing that is stopping us, and it's the quarterback position. Now, does that mean that Baker can't lead us to the Super Bowl? No. If we hit in last year's draft like we think we did, and we hit this year's draft as well like we think we did, even with Baker, if we have a good enough run game, we can definitely still go smell that Super Bowl with Baker. We can. It's possible. It is possible. I think, and I really believe we are building something special, man. I really
The best
do.
thing about Jason is
I
that
really
he
do.
wants us to have it right by the time the draft rolls around.
Heard that
You're
too.
allowed to speak
Also,
your mind.
if
You're allowed to
everything
have
goes
an
as
opinion.
planned, this will
is
be
the
Kansas'
guy
first
that
season. I'm
gives
missing time in the
defensive
preseason.
problems to have to cover all
Yep.
three.
It has to be a competition for him. Make it a competition, then he'll be fine.
I don't think he's real tough. I don't see a real confident guy. I think if he woke up tomorrow, he's 5'10".
I
when he
noticed
brushes
some
his teeth,
other
he's like,
things
"Okay,
about
want
these
this guy in our
videos.
building? No, sir.
At some point,
You heard
love
that?
the
You want
grind
this guy in
and you
our
love the
building?
hard
No,
part.
sir.
When it comes to this process, you kind of have to split hairs and you have to be nitpicky.
The feel about just the instincts about being able
So
to
they talk
understand
about it.
the mindset
We're gonna
of
talk
those
about it
guys
too.
in real time.
You take a lot of pride in that because you're out there by yourself and you know you're doing the best you can for the Bucks that day, and you're going to kick ass out there no matter what.
Wrapped up and taken down from behind.
We talk about eyeing that man with players. Well, we want the right kind of guys, that are scouting too.
This draft
When you
class
can lean back on the
is.
talent and the character.
I am this draft class, man.
We're gonna come out
Good
the other
Lord.
Whatever you need, I got you.
They all know what's expected, where they fit in, what their job is. It certainly is complex.
The scouts, they're the ones that know. They are the lifeblood of the organization.
Now,
I mean, our Super Bowl year showed us one thing, though, that all the depth that we had got us through that year. So we just need to keep drafting like we did, like you guys did, and we'll be all right.
Light talked about it.
The right kind of guys.
He learned
Because I was
that as a
never in the
GM,
boat parade.
he can't do too much. He can't do too much. So he learned how to back off and let the scouters do what the scouters do. Treat them like grown men, believe in them and their work, and let them do what they do. And they talk about it. And they talk about how when you have a boss that doesn't linger over your head and just allows you to do you and trusts you to do your job, it makes you want to do your job to the best of your ability. And man, these
We
scouts
felt after
do
we got
such a good
our
job.
guys back in free agency, as Jason said, we'd throw a boat parade if we got our guys back. And you try to build the draft board as objectively as you can, and you can't just inflate guys' values because you need a position. All right,
So we'll start with the quarterback. The plan is to bring him back. He wants to come back.
Now they're showing us the offseason, right?
Rashad, I thought he hit it better.
They're
late in
showing us
season.
the
I
offseason,
think
and
cool
this
thing
is
about him
great
that he
because I've been
started well for the
watching
entire year and
the
was healthy and
Giants
played
on
good down the
Hard
stretch.
Knocks,
Okay, receivers,
and they show the Giants offseason, how they
Kenny
were
Green
doing
went
their
back.
thing and drafting and
And
all
then
that stuff,
Chris, he's the guy.
and
the
it's
quarterback
different
knows
than how
that,
we do it.
I can be really confident.
And how we do it is better, and I'll explain what I'm talking about.
What do you feel like maybe our two top needs were that we wanted to address?
Yeah, I would say interior offensive line and pass rusher were probably the two biggest needs.
Of course.
The quarterback's the most important position, bar none. I mean, that's where it starts, but you have to be able to protect the quarterback, and then you also have to be able to affect the quarterback on defense. So those two positions are always high priority, and I would say that this year that was true with us for sure. Stu Bart, and then we'll kind of stack those guys a little bit. Duke.
Yeah, really strong makeup. Would fit in really well.
Barton
Has a little aw shucks.
This
to
whole
him,
draft
but
class, bro. I'm so
wants to be
psyched.
coached hard,
I'm so
plays
psyched.
really hard.
I remember a coach at Duke telling me a story about when he recruited Graham and going into his home. The family had a bunch of recordings of just college football games because when Graham was a young kid, he just wanted to watch football, and so they would tape the games, and he would watch them over and over again. Good with his hands, latching on the blocks, and just being able to adjust and sustain, and love the consistency and just being effective over and over and over again.
I want to see if we can run the ball so bad, man. If we can run the ball this year, that's going to be so huge for us, man.
with, and
It's going to be so huge for us if we can run the ball this year.
mature, committed, smart, reliable. All those words that you want to hear about an interior lineman, and he is an achiever. In whatever he sets his mind to.
Yeah, I thought just gets in position again and again and walls him off and gets there. I just trust that he'll do that execute the assignment and be a steady player.
Followed him through the season, and you never want to overrate a pro day, and especially for a lineman who doesn't have pads on and isn't hitting people, but he was in great shape. He ran really well, and it was him getting out on his pull path that you could just see, when he is in our uniform, in our pads, doing that in our scheme, that's going to look great.
Yep.
What's up, guys? Graham Bart, nice to meet you. Graham Bart, next to you guys. Come over here, Graham, over here. Yep. Thanks.
Now, this is what I wanted to show you guys.
Graham Bart, nice to meet you.
The question is, where do you want to play, or do you have a preference, or?
Yeah, I really don't have a preference. Like I know that sounds cliche, but I've played inside, I've played outside. I think I'm athletic. That's like who as I am as an offensive lineman. I'm first one off the ball. I get into good positions. And I think I can do that. With my hand in the ground, with a ball in my hand, or out of a 2-point stance to tackle. I just think I'm able to kind of manipulate my movement.
Now, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's something different between us interviewing our draft prospects and when you watch the Giants Hard Knocks and them interviewing their draft prospects. Can you guys guess what the difference is? If you can, put it in the comment section. I'll give you a little moment. Barton playing tackle and guard for Duke, and center has been solid in all three spots. Yep. He's definitely going to be playing. I think he'll be playing center, though. I'm kind of hoping he plays center for us. Well, I'll tell you the difference. Well, I could be wrong. I'm going to let this go a little
the way I want it to. I have control over myself. And so I think I'm versatile.
Graham had a lot of schools trying to get him to transfer.
Well, what I think is different, right, is in the Giants Hard Knocks, you would see the GM and the head coach talking to the draft, the draft prospects. Here, we don't see Jason Light or Todd Bowles in there talking to the draft prospects, right? Now maybe it's because it's
and
the center,
we're offering him
so maybe
a
they
lot
just
of
have the
money.
center coach in there.
They
I don't
knew
know.
what type of player
I
he
mean
was,
the
and
offensive
he never really
lineman coach
considered
in
it.
there. I don't
He
know,
is a very,
but
loyal,
I feel like
dedicated
that's a
guy
part
who truly cares
of
about his teammates, and he believes
Jason
in
Light.
that
Like,
program and that team
I
and what
trust you to do
they
what you
could
got to do, so I
accomplish.
can do what I
Those are
got
the
to
types
do.
of things that we value in the players that we want to add to our team.
Tell us a little bit about your leadership style.
Yeah, Fridays are, walkthrough days, no sweat, Fridays, just reviewing the game plan. But, Friday for me, I saw it as a day to make sure you were crisp, make sure your first two steps were perfect, make sure you're always in the right position. Your hat was in the right place, hands in the right place. So I'd be in a full sweat on Fridays. And by the end of the season, you'd see 3 or 4 of the young guys in a full sweat on Friday. And I think that's kind of the way I led. People saw, the way I treated it and kind of followed that.
We're talking about reestablishing the run game. Graham gives you the flexibility to run the ball in a variety of ways, whether it's power, inside zone, outside zone.
Gonna keep it on the ground. Huge hole into the open field 30.
His athleticism coupled with his tenacity and his strength really gives you the ability to make him a weapon in the run game.
Oh, big day tomorrow,
You know anything
guys.
about our team?
Yeah, I mean, I know that you've got a pretty freaky tackle in Wirfs, and then the run you guys kind of made this year with Baker. I thought it was pretty cool.
We did too.
He is not someone that needs attention and needs praise. I think he holds himself to a high standard. Even though he's a very sharp,
It
polished,
just seems
mature
like your
person,
prototypical.
he has this attitude
like
towards
Madden,
the game that's just full of dedication.
They got Barton back, which
Madden,
is really that offensive line.
AI
That was the
created
case
player that you
with
want to
Graham
draft.
of, hey, wait, a
You would
minute, like, they're not just out there in every round at every level. This guy that we should have motivation for is right there for us, in the first round.
Appreciate it, guys.
It's good to meet you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Best of luck to you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Great job. Enjoyed it.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy the week.
Appreciate it, guys.
See, so that's not Jason Light or Todd Bowles. They're not in there.
Man, coach is cooking out here, and we just at the beginning of it.
These are days to test the fortitude and the mental focus.
Yeah, the mental, yeah.
What it is.
How you beautiful people doing?
Yeah. Let's go.
I'm good.
Yeah. Yesterday, Rashad White said he thinks you were built in a lab. So can you confirm that you were not, in fact?
Nah, I wasn't built in a lab, but I just worked hard to get these guns. That's all
Big
it
day
is.
tomorrow, guys.
Go back to 2 years ago, before that set of draft meetings. I think it was in December meetings where Spy started the meeting saying, at outside backer, we have to have a guy who'll put his face on you.
An outside backer, Yaya, I thought had a great year for a guy that, slowly been building his career, to make that jump. And he is a love it guy. He is here all the time.
They lock the weight rooms on Sundays, so I can't get in there on Sundays. So that sucks. So I gotta find other ways to get a pump in.
Ask the rookies, who's the best leader? Who's the guy that's here the most? Who's
So
most positive?
who do you?
Yaya.
So you guys give me some of your thoughts about training camp. Who you guys looking forward to the most in training camp? Who like what battles are you looking for the most? What person are you looking for the most to have a breakout season this year? Let me know in the comment section, man. Let me know, because this is I can't say it enough. I don't have much to say about the Bucks. I pretty much said everything I have to say right now. I talked about what I believe we could be as a team this year. The only things that I'm worried about as far as our downfall this year, what I'm excited about, what I believe that these players are gonna do. There just doesn't seem like many question marks, right? I mean, we have a lot of question marks. I just have a strong feeling that they're going to be answered the way I think they're going to be answered. I don't know. Battle at left guard. I mean, that's going to be answered. the inside linebacker position, right? It does seem like KJ Britt is Todd Bowles' favorite. But today in today's practice, Deloach actually had a really good practice today. Deloach had like 2 or 3 sacks today, showing that inside linebacker speed and that ability to blitz. So I do think eventually this is going to be, when you talk about Servassier is taking over for Levante. Todd Bowles also talked about that he's going to use Servassier a lot this year. I think he's getting him ready to take over. I think this might be Levante. Unfortunately, this might be Levante's last year, and I think Todd Bowles is gonna put us a lot more 4-3s, have us in a lot more 4-3 situations, or maybe have us in like big nickel instead of a safety. Maybe put another linebacker, which will be Servassier. I think there's going to be a lot of ways that Todd Bowles is going to find ways to put Servassier in the game to get him more experience, because I truly believe that he wants Servassier to take over the Levante Davis spot when Levante leaves. So Deloach is going to have to learn and get better, and we'll see if he gets any playing time this year. But the spot that Deloach is going to have to take over is going to be KJ's spot, which is the Devin White spot, right? So I really do see Deloach really good at that. But 2 things have to happen. We have to have some linebacker that's not going to get eaten up in run blocking, right? Servassier is a little small, little light in the weight, so he tends to get pushed around a little bit. So if that's the case, KJ Britt got to really be next to him. Unless Servassier gets really good like Levante David at block shedding and is able to start making plays like Levante David, then we can have someone like Deloach that might get a little bit washed, but Servassier is there to help him out. So it really depends. I don't know how that inside linebacker situation is going to go. But I'm interested. I'm really interested to see them being Servassier. Even KJ Britt probably won't have a lot of preseason time because he'll probably be a starter. It's going to be a lot to dethrone KJ Britt from being a starter, because he knows the system, he understands, and he's like steady Eddie, right? He's the guy that's not gonna. He might not make the biggest explosive plays or make that wow play, but he's not going to be a big problem on the field. Maybe a little bit of coverage situations, but we'll see. So Deloach got his work cut out. He's got to really show us. He's got to really put on tape something where we're like, we got to have that man on the field. Either that, or we got to see Servassier do the same thing, because it's gonna be hard to dethrone KJ Britt. But I think it is possible. I do think it's possible. And if it was me, I would love my inside linebackers to be Servassier and Deloach. I think Deloach could be dope. But we got to see it happen. We got to see him make it happen on the field with NFL players. And obviously I'm talking about when Levante's not here no more, right? So, but at least at minimum, it'll be Servassier and KJ Britt, and I think those 2 guys can work together. We'll be okay without Levante. As much as I hate saying that, I don't want to say that. But it'll be great to see them in preseason games, Deloach and Servassier. I'm hoping they take a big step, show out. I want to see Tyreek Smith in the preseason games, but it'll be hard because he's a nickel, and even if he does good, we probably won't be able to tell if he's doing good unless he blitzes, because they'll probably throw around him with everybody else doing bad. Chris Broswell. He's going to get a lot of playing time, just like Yaya did with the preseason. Chris Broswell, I can't wait to see that. Watts. Oh my God, I can't wait to see Watts. I can't wait to see Jose Ramirez. I can't wait to see all those outside linebackers go to work in preseason games, which is in 2 weeks. Not this weekend coming up, but the next weekend. It's already our preseason game, man. The season is just coming up so fast. It's coming up so fast. Our wide receivers really going to eat, especially with the true number 3 now. Yes, and I'm actually very excited to see Kyle. I know this is not Kyle Trask is not a quarterback battle anymore, but I'm very excited to see Kyle Trask in this preseason. Even though Baker is the guy, yes, I get it. I had a conversation about Kyle Trask to another friend of mine about, this doesn't mean Kyle Trask is not the future. It just doesn't. Jason Light could be trying to be a genius right now. Could be trying to be a genius right now. I know how I want to say it, and I'm not saying it right, but whatever. He could be a genius right now. And what do I mean by that, right? Well, he was completely wanted to go with Kyle Trask, and Baker called him and said, give me a chance, give me a chance, give me a chance. They gave him a chance. Now, let's say Baker didn't come last year, right? I believe that Kyle Trask would have been able to win us the division last year. I truly believe that Kyle Trask would have been able to win us the division. Could I have been wrong? I could have been wrong. Maybe he had a couple games where he, just melted down. I don't know. I haven't seen him play a full game, right? I don't know what his makeup is like, right? I do know as a quarterback, he can make all the throws. He can play quarterback. I just don't know what his makeup is like, right? If he's under pressure, will he fold? Which actually we have seen him go down the field when it's like do or die. So maybe we have seen his makeup. But anyways, the point is, if Baker wasn't here last year, I believe Kyle Trask would have had a decent year, right? Maybe not as good as Baker. I believe he would have, but let's just say he didn't. Let's just say it was a little bit worse than what Baker did. Then he would be playing this year. And this year, I truly believe he would have done good. If he did okay, he would have did good this year. And then it would have been just 1 year. And guess what? We would have been in the same situation as the Green Bay Packers are with Jordan Love, which is, hey, it was 1 year. I don't want to play in this contract year. Pay me my money. And we would have had to pay Kyle Trask his money. Now, Kyle Trask is not the guy. Baker's the guy. And we just paid Baker. So now, guess what? After this year, Kyle Trask's contract is over. Hey, Trask. Jason Light, wink, wink. I think you could still be the future of this team. I would love to give you a 3-year contract, maybe a 4-year contract, right? To be the backup. And, after Baker, you might be the guy. And we have Kyle Trask on the Lowski. And we end up with Kyle Trask on the Lowski. So I don't know. I think there's still a chance. And again, I'm not saying that because I'm some Gator fan and I want Kyle Trask to be the guy so bad. I'm not saying it because of that. I'm saying it because I do like what I see from Kyle Trask. And I'm hoping that we do get to find out if he could be the guy or not before we let him go. I don't believe Baker is the guy. And yes, I do think we can do something with Baker, but a lot of things have to be right with Baker. So once this 2 years is over with Baker, do we go somewhere else, or is Kyle Trask going to still be around where we can give him a chance? To me, it don't matter as long as we move on from Baker and try something else. If Baker continues to stay the same. Now, maybe Baker surprises me and Baker comes out this year and balls out and actually looks like a real quarterback and shushes me up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm on the Baker train. I bought a ticket. I'm on the Baker train. I'm all in with him. You know, there was a couple of times last year where I was trying to buy a Baker ticket. I was like, listen, I want to be on the Baker train. Make me a believer, Baker. You will make me a believer. If this happens, you'll make me a believer. And he didn't make me a believer. Now I tried and I wanted to, and I gave him the opportunities. He's my quarterback this year. I'm giving him the opportunities again. He can convince me. If he convinces me, he convinces me. If he doesn't, then obviously I hope we move on and whether it's Kyle Trask or somebody else. But I say all that to say that Kyle Trask, him in preseason is important. It's important to see Kyle Trask in the preseason, plain and simple. And not only that, but I do believe that he'll have Sterling Shepard, he'll have Trey Palmer, he'll have Johnson, that Johnson dude. So, in other words, he'll actually have some weapons. He'll actually have some good weapons that he can go do something. Now, they're talking about him and Sterling Shepard got real good connection. Well, of course, this is what I've been saying with Kyle Trask. He's never had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, the taller wide receivers, right? He's never got a chance with the taller wide receivers. All his receivers have always been the smaller wide receivers. So give him some tall wide receivers, some wide receivers that have a nice radius of catching abilities, and let's see Kyle Trask go to work. So let's see what happens there. But I can't wait to see that. The running back, Bucky, I can't wait to see Bucky, man. I can't wait to see him. Could offense guard Klein has a place on the team? Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely he can have a place. That's another position. I want to see all the O-line. I want to see how good all the offensive linemen are, including Klein. Deloach is making the team and he will see game time. You believe so? I believe he's making the team. I don't think they're going to put him on the practice squad. I think they're going to force him on the team because they don't want to lose him. I think they do like what they have with Deloach, and I think he's definitely going to make the team. I just don't know if he'll see playing time. It depends on how good and how well it looks like he has a hold of the playbook this year. That'll define if he gets some playing time. Don't forget the depth at tight end. Yes, for Cade Otton, Peyton Durham, Cole Keefe, and D. Wells, and they signed undrafted free UFL tight end Sal Canella. Did you forget who? I don't know who D. Wells is, but did you forget our rookie Cope? Devin Cope. I really want to see Devin Cope. Out there. Yes, exactly. And tight end Cope from Washington. Yes, exactly. I really want to see Cope out there. So I'm excited to see Cope out there. I'm excited to see Bucky. I want to see Bucky out there. The wide receivers, I'm not really like, I want to see them out there because I want to see them ball out because that might mean that Kyle Trask is balling out. So that outside linebackers for sure. We haven't really had any chitter chatter about defensive tackles, like the backup for Kalijah, the backup for Vita Vea. So we're gonna hopefully we see something there because I haven't. Now that I think about it, we really don't have no depth when it comes to the defensive tackle position. Like there's nobody that we know of, at least yet, that can come in and be like, okay, well, it's obviously it's a drop off, but it's not that bad of it. At least he can do his job where they're not running past him. So we're gonna have to see that. But yeah, the run game, the offense in general, I want to see how the offense looks. I want to see how they run it with Baker, man. I want to see what they use for Baker. But yeah, that is pretty much it, man. Pretty much it for today. I don't want to watch the whole whatever it's called in the current. Okay, it's still like another 30 something minutes. But we talked about everything I wanted to talk about, how the other days of practice have went. We broke all those days down. We broke down some of the standouts like Baker, what happened with Baker, what happened with Trask. McMillan is starting to really pick up and dominate. McCollum, that's another thing we didn't talk about. McCollum, oh my gosh, McCollum is no joke. McCollum is really putting on the clamps. I'm telling you guys, McCollum is CB1. He's not CB2. He's CB1. He is putting the clamps out there, man. So shout out to McCollum, man. I can't wait to see more of that. I want to see some more from Izzy and some Tyreek. Bro, I am so excited, man. Maybe in the preseason game, my excitement will go down, and I'll be more realistic. But as of right now, man, it's hard for me to stop my fandom from going crazy right now because I'm just like, bro, like I really feel like we did some damage last year with the draft picks. And I really feel like we did some damage this year with the draft picks. And if that's true, man, we're up and coming, guys. If that's true, we're an up and coming team, bro. We're like right now, without knowing what we are the team between the bad teams and the really good teams. We're in the middle. We're good enough to make the playoffs. And if we get a hair up our butt, we might be good enough to make some noise and win a game or two. But we're really not far at all. We're not far at all from being a team like the Niners, for being a team like the Detroit Lions, for being a team, even though we beat them, Philly's kind of stacked, right? Even though we whooped on them, that's kind of some other stuff that happened. We're not far at all. I honestly think we're already there for being one of those guys where it's like Bucks are stacked. People just don't know yet. Nobody knows, right? We as Buck fans don't even know yet. Like that's the thing. We as Buck fans don't even know. So I think we're close to it though. I think we're really close, and we'll find out. Like I said, maybe in preseason when the preseason games start rolling, I'll start understanding and come down a little bit to earth and be like, okay, we still got a little bit of ways, But as of right now, I'm hyped. I'm ready to see. I'm ready to find out, man. I'm ready to find out because we got some players, man, and this coaching staff with Todd Bowles and everybody, they just know how to develop, bro. They know how to develop, bro. Like McCollum coming out of nowhere. Like, come on, bro. Like the players that it's like every time we need a player to step up, the development's like great. They were developed. Gee, you ain't got no one better than Mike, Sean J. You ain't got no one better than Mike, brother. You ain't got and he's clamping up Mike. He is clamping up Mike. You ain't got no one better than Mike, bro. Trust me. I promise you. If McCollum takes the step that I think he's gonna take, he's gonna be one of those guys, bro. He's gonna be one of those guys, bro. And if you out of everybody, Sean J, no, when I be saying stuff on here, it be coming to fruition. So I told everybody Jamel Dean has a higher ceiling than Carlton Davis. And people thought I was blowing smoke. Last 2 years, people feel like Jamel Dean has been better than Carlton Davis. And when McCollum came, I said McCollum has the highest ceiling out of all three of them. And we've already seen the jump. I mean, he was CB1 last year, Sean. He was CB1 last year. Carlton Davis was hurt a lot of the times. And then Jamel Dean he basically was a starter for us last year. Dak put McCollum in a blender in the playoffs. Dak put McCollum in the blender in the playoffs. Who are you talking about? Dak Prescott? Excuse me, healthy and took a step back last season. Yeah, took a step back last season, man. The injuries, but yeah, McCollum. I'm really not worried about McCollum, bro. Everybody's like, we'll find out. And hey, maybe you know me. Maybe is there a chance that I'm wrong? Could be a chance that I'm wrong about McCollum. I just have a real strong feeling about it, and that's why I'm so hyped about these draft class. Last year's draft class and this year's draft class. Like, it's not like who was the draft class before that? I'm trying to think. I don't know. I haven't been hyped like this about these draft classes. I haven't. I haven't. I have not. And it's just something. I don't know what it is. There's something that's Christian Izzian. There's just something that's giving me confidence, and I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know what it is. But there's something that's giving me strong confidence about these guys that are coming in. It's just there's something different, bro. There's something different. And again, I wish we could see like
comparing him to Yaya a little bit.
Just having that change up and not just being a straight fastball guy.
Looking at the other pass rushers, you start to pull up pressures. Braswell I think he had the most pressures in the SEC last year, and the guy that was playing in rotation, that says a lot. Going down to Mobile,
look at how he hits people. God,
it sounded different.
There's just something different about these guys, bro.
And he kept coming. He was doing it over and over and over again.
Like I see our
comparing him to Yaya
edge
a little bit. Those were guys that didn't play a whole lot early in their career and then saw a big jump their senior year.
And he plays the same way. He plays direct.
I just see ruthlessness, bro. Like I just see ruth when it comes to the D line. When you talk about Kalijah, Vita Vea, Logan Hall, Yaya, Chris Braswell, I just see viciousness. I just see whoever we're lining up against, that O-line going back. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's just been I've been away from football for so long. I don't know what it is. I have not been this like excited and hyped over draft picks and I don't know how long, bro. But there is something that just keeps hitting me where I look at the tape and I'm watching them and I'm just like, I just see dominance, bro. I don't know. I can't see Yaya being stopped. I can't see Kalijah Kancey being stopped. I can't see Vita being stopped. I can see Logan being stopped, but I see a lot of reps where he's pushing the pocket as well and winning. I can't see Braswell being stopped. Like and I have no idea. I have no idea about Braswell. Obviously, he's a rookie. But I just have such a good feeling. Tyreek Smith, out of all of them, I don't have a strong feeling. I have a good feeling, but I wouldn't bet money on it, right? Braswell, for some reason, I would bet money on it. Figure of speech, obviously. I'm bet money on it. Tyreek Smith, put it like this. If Tyreek Smith becomes our starter, oh Lord. Because Bowles doesn't give anybody the starting role just to give it to him. Oh, because we picked you here or we picked you there. It don't matter. I don't care who you are, where we picked you. You're not going to start just because you're that guy, just because you got a high draft pick or whatever it is. Just because you're fast, whatever. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not starting for us. You're not. That's what I love about my coach. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not starting for us. Period. It don't matter if you're a veteran. Joe Tryon got his spot taken by a rookie in the middle of the season. And Yaya took it and ran with it. Period. If you're not doing your job and you're a veteran, if you're not doing your job, your spot could get taken. If you're a rookie, you don't know what you're doing. I don't care how talented you are. You're not on the field. I keep saying Tyreek, but it's Tyke, I believe. If Tyke Smith starts for us at the nickel, oh my gosh. And it could happen because Izzian is an undrafted rookie, or was last year undrafted. So could there be a big enough leap that he has to make to win the starting job? I don't think so. So we'll see. Nelson is serviceable. JTS is the weak line for some reason. I don't know though. He's been a little bit different this year. I don't believe it, to be honest with you. I'm not a believer yet. JTS got to show me. He got to show me. But you could a Dolphin fan in here acting like they know football. What was I saying? JTS got to show me, but in training camp, JTS kind of been going off. Now again, no pads, so that's why I'm not even looking at it. Not even like, you gotta show me. I'm sorry. Matter of fact, pads come on tomorrow. I keep saying it. Pads come on tomorrow. Tomorrow, pads come on tomorrow. He better get some sacks tomorrow. You better get some sacks tomorrow. If you don't get no sacks tomorrow, I'm already throwing. I don't care what he does. And for the rest of the training camp, I don't care what he does. He better get some sacks tomorrow, or I'm throwing him away already. If he don't get no sacks tomorrow, I'm not again. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Sean J says wrong game. I think it might have been the Lions game where they picked on McCollum. Well, McCollum was in a corner. McCollum was in a corner in that game. McCollum was playing safety in that game. So that explains why McCollum was playing safety, because we had our starters, but McCollum had played so good last year. McCollum had played so good that Todd Bowles just tried to find a way to get him on the field, and he put him at safety since our safety was getting eaten up all the time. He put him at safety, so that's why it seemed like McCollum was kind of spinning around, because he was playing safety for the playoffs, which is kind of crazy, to be honest. He was playing corner all year, and then they put him at safety for the playoffs. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, so that's what happened. He was going in and out nickel. He was going safety, nickel. They kind of put him everywhere. But that's what happened. I don't remember him getting eaten up like that, but if he did, that's probably why, because he was playing safety and nickel a lot of the times in the playoffs. But as an outside corner, locked down, baby. Outside corner, that's his position. That's his position, outside. When we first drafted him, people were like, oh, that's our nickel. That's our nickel. I was like, that's not our nickel. That's the outside corner. He plays outside corner. And it's easy for him. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's not even like, can he handle it? I know he can handle it. It's easy for him, bro. The dude like runs like a 4, what it was, low 4.4? Like low 4.4, it might be 4.3. I don't remember. It's his speed and athleticism is nothing. It's easy for him to play corner. It's easy for him, bro. The only depth for D-line I know is Green. Oh, I forgot about Green and Gaines. Yep, Gaines is the Vita Vea. Green, I forgot about Green. Yes, I want to see Green. Green, I liked Green last year in preseason. So hopefully he takes another step and goes up. I like Green. I forgot about Green. Thank you for reminding me about Green. So yeah, I'll be watching Green too. See what he does. See what he does. I liked Green. Green was like little like mini Gerald McCoy. Shout out to Green. Green was nasty with it. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know how many times I can say it, but I'm just excited, bro.
And right at you and works off a bull rush and chooses hard.
To me, this guy, like, you could steal in the third round and then wake up in October next year and be like, oh, we did it again. He's made of the right stuff.
We could steal him in the third round, he said.
I think there's something about this guy.
We're looking for the kind of guys that when it gets hard
what does that
in
mean?
the fourth quarter, on a September day in Tampa, it's not a lot of fun out there, I don't think. I mean, it's hot.
Kate as hell.
You've been beaten down. It's
late.
physical.
I'm late as hell. Yeah,
We're
you
looking
are
for guys
late,
that will
man.
Stay in the fight.
Rashad West in the building. I got my soundboard back, baby. Sean J in the building. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Look at this dude. Look at this dude.
I'm not trying to run this guy way up the board. I just, this guy feels like a second rounder. He's tailor-made for our defense.
So he's like, they talking about him. They're like, we could probably steal him in the third and turn around and be like, yep, we did it again. And he's telling them, I'm not trying to run this guy up the board. And Light is just like, nah, he does feel like a second rounder. He feels like a second rounder. You know what I'm saying? He feels like a second rounder. And he's tailor-made for the defense. Again, he just, let's go.
As a scout, there's so many players that you evaluate, but only very few that you would be willing to, quote unquote, jump on the table for. When scouts are jumping on the table for a player, you have to listen to them.
Jason Light has the vision. He sees this thing from the bird's eye view.
Yes.
The way that he empowers all of us to do our jobs. When you feel like you have a lot of value and you have a lot of power to do what you're supposed to do and you're not being watched all the time, it makes you only want to do your job better if you're the right kind of person.
I
Right.
think human
Facts.
nature, we
Facts.
jump to conclusions a lot. We have blind spots in terms of our biases. And that's something that I think about a lot, is just trying to eliminate as much bias as I can.
It's super important for our scouts to be able to see players through different lenses, not just what they're actually playing currently, but forecasting what they can do.
Yeah, you have to kind of have a wide lens there. It's easier to say what he can't do, harder, more valuable to say, okay, where would he perform well? You know, what would that look like?
As scouts, especially on the college
Yeah.
side of it, that's
Tomorrow,
what we're doing.
we
We are
might have
projecting
to-
all these players, how they're going to transition from
We
the
might have
college
to
game
come
to
on
the NFL.
tomorrow,
So then when they're transitioning
because
from a
again,
different
tomorrow
position to another
we put
position,
on the
that
pads
just adds a whole
tomorrow.
other layer to it.
So we might have
Whether
to come
it's,
on live again
looking at
tomorrow
Tyke
and talk
Smith,
about
he
it.
was a
Tyke
nickel
Smith.
at Georgia, and you see him make a tackle for loss.
Oh yeah,
on one
watch
play, and the
watch
next
when
play
they
he
start
makes a
breaking
PBU
down
on third
plays
down
with him.
against a receiver that ends up going in the first round in the Florida game. You go back to his West Virginia tape, and you see him playing almost a linebacker role, and you see him playing safety. So it's really fun to take different
This is-
pieces and have an open mind, to not just look at a player and say, "Well, he's never done this, so he can't do it."
Now, I'm not to say that he's Antoine
How you doing, all right?
Winfield.
I'm doing good. Can't complain.
Oh, this is Tyke. It's not to say that I believe he's going to be as good as Antoine Winfield, but when I saw Antoine Winfield's tape, I remember thinking, like, if Todd Bowles can, if he can fit Todd Bowles and he can understand what Todd Bowles is trying to do, and if he works out, he's going to be amazing. If we can, the talent that I see on film, if that can translate to the NFL and Todd Bowles can help and use him, it's going to be amazing. It's the same thing with Tyke Smith. Tyke Smith is the same thing when I see on tape. Like, if Todd Bowles can actually use him and he can translate and he can learn Todd Bowles and he can get comfortable in Todd Bowles' system and be able to play with his hair on fire and play loose and like, okay, I got it down. I'm going, let's get it. He can be a problem, bro. He can be another Antoine Winfield, but in the box situation, right? At nickel, basically. He can be what we were trying to do to Antoine Winfield, 2 years ago, when we were trying to see if he can play nickel, because then we can keep him near the line of scrimmage. They said, okay, Antoine is a safety. That's too much on his plate, trying to get him to be safety and nickel. It's too much on his plate. Now we got this guy. This guy is strictly for nickel. Yes, we can maybe put him at strong safety to play next to Antoine here and there, but that's if he can't do what we think he can do at nickel. If he can do what we think he can do at nickel, they're going to strictly put him at nickel and say, wreak havoc. This dude, Tyke Smith, is going to be, hopefully, the problem that Devin White was. Hopefully he can be that for us. Except, obviously, we need him to be able to cover, right? So that's what I'm seeing. And that's a big situation, right? Because if we have KJ Britt, and KJ Britt might be like, oh, he's a problem in, coverage or whatever. Okay. Tyke take over. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? The pieces that Todd Bowles is getting, it's like, okay, we have a problem here. Give me this piece, that fixed that problem. We have a problem here. Give me that piece, that fixed that problem. And the pieces that we are getting are so good that they might fix more than one problem. So if you got pieces like that, you can throw all these pieces on there and you just have no idea what Todd Bowles is doing. You don't have okay, put Tyke Smith is at nickel, Jordan Whitehead's down at the box, shoot Antoine Winfield down at the box. Who's coming? You have no idea. You don't know who's coming. You don't know who's in man coverage. You don't know who's in zone. You have no idea what we're doing, because everybody, including our outside linebackers, everybody can cover. Everybody can rush and blitz. Do you not understand? Again, this is why I get hyped. People don't understand this craziness of a defense that Todd Bowles and Jason Light are building together. They are going ham. They are building a monster together. Jason Light and Todd Bowles are creating a monster at defense, guys. Like, it is going to be so nasty, man. I got to get off here because I keep just showing you guys how hyped I am, and it's like I want to see it, obviously, right? I don't want to be the fool. I don't want to be hyped and then we find out we still gotta wait a couple of more draft picks. You know what I'm saying? We're not there yet. But I just have a strong feeling. Is Golston still on the team? I believe Golston is still on the team. I believe so. I believe he is still on the team. But yeah, man. Again, pads come on tomorrow. If anything crazy happens that we need to talk about, I will be going live and trying to talk about it. Oh, snap. Big Al in the building. You're in red till I'm cold and dead. You know what time it is. Oh, I got to get my Skull Gang sound. I still got to fix my soundboard. But anyways, yeah, man. Pads come on tomorrow. Hopefully we get some exciting results tomorrow. Hopefully. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to know. Anyways, it's your man, RTP, here, host of the Pewter and Red podcast, man. I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow. If it's just a regular practice, if it's kind of like, not much to talk about, then I'm not going to get on. But if it's a practice where I'm like, bro, then we're going to come on here. I'll drop the link so we can all talk and chop it up if you guys want to come in and give your piece of what you think about that. So I'll see you guys next time I see you. It's your man, RTP, host of the Pewter and Red podcast. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Yeah, shout out to Gerald McCoy. He was in the building. Shout out to Gerald. Big G.